since that time, 7 wins and 6 draws. They have not allowed a goal in this building since October the 6th of last season.
11 months, you say?
11 months since a last home loss.
There's a lot of 11s out here. Pittsburgh has not lost in 11 weeks. They lost their opener and they've got some draws, but they haven't had one in the upside down column for a while.
A unique record for the Riverhounds. And there's a bit of argument as to, do you put the draw first, kind of which is the soccer way of doing it? Do you put the draw last, which is more of the American way of doing it? I'll spell it out for you. 2 wins, 1 loss, 6 draws so far for Pittsburgh in USL Championship competition.
So at 9 games, Tampa Bay's got 12. So they've got 3 games in their back pocket here. So while they're out of the table on the playoffs, don't count this team out. Bob Lilly has never missed a postseason. 18 years, 18 seasons at the pro level.
As always, we thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer here on My Indy TV and ESPN Plus. Final home game for the Indy 11 for the next 3 weeks. They'll face a couple of league debutantes on the road in the next 2 Saturdays. Memphis 901 and Loudoun United before returning home here for 3 games in 8 days beginning on June 22nd. And these teams played 3 times last year. Indy 11 had 4 opponents they played 3 times during the course of the regular season a year ago, and all of them were top end of the table playoff teams, including Pittsburgh. They played here once back in late August, a 2-2 draw and a late point earned by the Indy 11 that night. Indy, one of the few teams that scored multiple goals on multiple occasions against Pittsburgh a season ago. Indy earned a pair of draws and then a loss in their 3rd meeting with the Hounds last year, and obviously a loss on Wednesday night in Open Cup play. Gibson finds Ouimet, Gibson, Neville Hackshaw, and Evan Newton. We single those 3 out currently for the Indy 11 because they have played every minute of every league match so far for the Indy 11. We expect that stat for Neville Hackshaw to end next week. The reason being is he is on the provisional Gold Cup roster for Trinidad and Tobago. Hackshaw has been one of the better players for the Indy 11 this season, no doubt about it, primarily defensive, but has also scored 2 goals as well. But we expect him to be away for probably a couple of weeks, if not more, representing his country in the Gold Cup.
Yeah, big honor for him. But when you take a look at how the 11 deal with it, there have been so many guys, whether it's red cards or injuries, that have had to play on the back line and get some minutes. Whoever is coming in, this is, with Osman in here, here's another guy that gets, hopefully 90 minutes under his belt. That becomes ready in the event that, Hackshaw's his absence is extended.
Speaking of injuries, our injury report brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. And again, Eugene Starikov, Ilya Illich have both been out since March. Both have begun the rehab process after surgery. I still think we're a ways away from seeing both of those guys, and obviously a team that has lots of offensive firepower. And guys like Enevoldsen, Kelly, Pasher. Run made by Pasher, onside right now. Flick forward for Kelly. Settles, left foot. Didn't get what he wanted to on it. He made the last touch. Goal kick coming for Pittsburgh.
Tough first touch. I think it was set up very, very well. The ball into Pasher was brilliant. He finds Kelly right almost at the top of the 6, but this ball just pops up a little longer and allows the defenders to close him.
And that has been the nature of the last month for the Indy 11. The buildup has been there. There's just been one off touch, one off pass, or frankly, open nets that have been missed that have kept them off the scoreboard more times than not. The goals for the Indy 11 in the month of May. It doesn't take long to rattle them off. They're not hard to remember. There's 2 of them. Thomas Enevoldsen's goal in Open Cup play in the victory against Lansing Ignite on May 15th. And then some 3 days later, Tyler Pasher ricocheting one off of the hand of Joe Kuzminski, the netminder for the Charleston Battery. That late in the match that gave Indy their only league victory in the month of May. Everything else draws for the Indy 11.
Great job by Gibson to close that before they had an opportunity to take advantage of their numbers.
Time now for our keys this match, presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers.
Well, for Indy, they got to stay clean defensively. You talk about they've been so solid in the back, and that has to click when you're not scoring goals. A little bit sideways on Wednesday night, gave away a few balls and had to have a couple of game-saving tackles there at the end. So you need to make sure we stay clean and locked in defensively, and then you got to finish your chances. We talked about it pre-game. There's been no shortage of great opportunities created, but you got to finish them. You got to lock in. You got to finish them. For Pittsburgh, they got to be tight in the 18. You take a look at the game on Wednesday night. You had Penn that comes into the 6. We got the defender wrong-sided. You had Ina Voltson back post. You had Ina Voltson between the 12 and the 6 unmarked. They've got to do a better job of making sure they're tight in the box, and then they have to reduce restarts for Indy 11. When a team is struggling to score, you cannot give them free looks at the goal. So in your defensive third, be buttoned down, no careless fouls.
But what's going to be very unique, and by the way, our keys again brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. The guy that takes virtually every restart is not playing tonight. No Iose this evening.
Yeah, that's going to be tough because he's so accurate. But, when he takes the lion's share of them, you don't get to see the talent from the other guys. I'm sure there are a couple guys that can deliver a ball similar, maybe not with the same precision, but can still be dangerous in that role.
So throw-in coming here for Ryan James. James has played every minute of every match so far this season, and for Pittsburgh, that's one fewer than the Indy 11. Mater tries to find Kelly. He was offside. Could not stay onside, was just a step past that last line of defense for the Riverhounds.
Yeah, you wonder with Greenspan being out, who's pretty much the anchor of their back line, are they going to be able to keep up the rotations, the shifts, the steps? Are they going to be able to stay in sync the whole game when the foundational piece of their back line is off today?
Now you see Austin Pack. It's a bit of a unique situation in terms of the keepers for Pittsburgh. They have had 3 different keepers play in matches this year. Kyle Morton, who played in just 3 matches for the Riverhounds last season, has 4. Ben Lundgaard, who was here as a reserve and never saw the field last year for the Indy 11, has 4. But Pack has now played the last 2 league matches for Pittsburgh. His opposite number is Evan Newton, the all-time leader in shutouts at this level. 43 during his career. You see the 6 clean sheets this season. That is second only to John McCarthy of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, who has 8. As the Rowdies, while the Rowdies did lose an Open Cup play on Tuesday, have not dropped a match in USL Championship play this year. Indy Voltson trying to launch Kelly. Pack off his line.
That's film right there. That's film. There's no reason for him to be at the top of the 18 or a step outside of it in a situation like that. But knowing Dane Kelly's speed and the ability of Ina Voltson and other players on the 11 to drop that ball into the pocket for him to go chase requires Pack to be off his line.
Both these teams knocked out in the playoff opening round a season ago. Good takeaway here by Pittsburgh. Opportunity. Ball played across, and the timing a bit off on both the run and the pass, and a goal kick is coming. The intended target of Kevin Kerr, who is tied for the all-time lead in assists for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. His target was Steven Dos Santos. Kerr has been with Pittsburgh since 2013, over 160 matches played for Pittsburgh. As much as we had Charleston here a couple of weeks ago talking about they've been around for more than a quarter of a century, this is the 21st year of Pittsburgh Riverhounds soccer. It had been a struggle for them the previous couple of years before Bob Lilly got to town. They had finished 13th in both 2016 and 2017. But last year, frankly, the way we've described the Indy 11 in the month of May is how you describe Pittsburgh for most of the season. They didn't score a lot, but nobody scored on them. Right idea on the ball here. Pasher. And Pasher forced to go middle, away from his strong left side. Enevoldsen looking back post. Pan left foot, no, but it will be a corner. And again, this is normally you see Ioze making that run of the corner flag. It looks like Nico Mattern will get the first crack from the opposite corner flag for the Indy 11.
It's another ball. Enevoldsen puts it into these little gaps that only the 11 players can get to. His brilliance is not just as a goal scorer, but as a playmaker.
And it seems ridiculously unfair that Enevoldsen does not have an assist this year, because he's been so good at setting up other players. He has scored twice, yet to pick up an assist. Nico Mattern, second-year man from Germany, sends it in. Not exactly a clearing punch, then a clearing boot. Comes from Kevin Kerr.
Little different look on that corner for the 11. You don't know if that's the way that Mattern serves the ball versus Ioze, but you had a clump of players on the front post with just Enevoldsen hanging out on the backside.
Pasher. Enevoldsen. Can he latch on to it? Well done. Great job to head that one back by Ryan James and made a difficult play look easy. Here is Forbes on the ball for the first time for Pittsburgh. This portion of this match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. And one thing of note, with Ioze out, Tyler Pasher now is playing a little bit further back down the field. Playing more of a left wing role. He's been playing more, I wouldn't say exactly as an up top forward, but farther up the field until tonight's game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that, with the pace of Penn and Pasher on that side, how that changes things on the left side. You know, Ioze doesn't necessarily have the pace. He's got the creativity and the ability to distribute the ball from there. But now you got two pretty pacey guys on the left side. Be interesting to see how that develops through the course of the game. And then you also take a look. Pasher's had to make 2 runs forward at full pace and then just tracked back, which, if Ioze's in there, he doesn't have to make that run. So now he's spent a little bit of fuel here in the first 10 minutes, chasing balls forward and backwards.
And Pasher is one of the guys that was a starter on Wednesday night in Pittsburgh. Farias at some point with the throw. Kelly at least earns his way back in front of it. Good move by Farias. Looking back post. Enevoldsen didn't get everything he wanted to on it. And Austin Pack able to make the play. Spent last year with Portland Timbers 2 out in the Western Conference, which means he might know Enevoldsen, as he played with Orange County SC last year. Enevoldsen 20 goals, tied for second in the league a season ago. Osman plays that to Pasher. Osman kind of had one nervous moment. Osman played NAIA soccer, and we kind of make this comment on a number of broadcasts. Yes, there are many of Division I caliber players that we see in this league, but there are a lot of gems that are found in small college soccer. That is the case for the Indy 11. Nico Mattern played at Indiana Wesleyan. Mitch played at Calumet College of St. Joseph in northern Indiana before transferring to Rio Grande in southeastern Ohio, where he was that league's player of the year last year.
If you can play, you'll be found.
Yep. He is a native of Sydney, Australia. Pack on the restart. We saw Osman at the very tail end of the match against Charleston 2 weeks ago. He was a 4th round selection in this year's MLS Super Draft. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Take down here, Osman. Step for step. Uchenna Uzo. Now Forbes chips it forward. Looking to make the turn. Good leave, left foot, and a goal. First goal allowed at home this year by the Indy 11. Pittsburgh took 85 minutes to score on Wednesday night. They need just 15 here. The Hounds have a 1-goal lead.
Yeah, tough turnover almost at midfield. You can't have that. You've got your backs that are starting to press up, and you start seeing that your shape defensively is out of sync, and then you have this turnover, and you're exposed in the back because everybody's looking to press forward. So, you know, the worst place to have a turnover is in the space that you've just vacated.
It is Robbie Mertz that gets the goal. That is his first goal of the season. Mertz, who is a Pittsburgh native, played collegiately at the University of Michigan. And it gives the Hounds a 1-0 advantage. So that snaps a streak for the Indy 11. Again, in terms of just league play, not counting Open Cup play from Wednesday night. It is the first goal they have allowed since April the 28th. And it is the first goal in this building they have allowed since October the 6th of last year. And for the offensive struggles the Indy 11 have had, something they have not really been in a position that they have had to do much this year is chase the game. And here they are. We reference Osmond in tonight's game. The player he is replacing tonight is Patty Barrett, and it's not really anything that Patty has done wrong. It's just, again, just some squad rotation, knowing that including Open Cup play, this is the third week where you've had 2 matches in the last 5. You're trying to see some new faces and trying to reduce the wear and tear on a player like Patty.
And there is a chance that this is also a move to get some minutes and some experience for somebody else, so that when Hackshaw is gone on national team duty, you've got an array of guys that you can select from.
Let's also reference the fact that Alex Nollie remains back with the parent club that he's been loaned from this year. He's with the Columbus Crew as they've been dealing with injuries. Farias headed. That was Gibson. Oh, that was Penn, excuse me, that got to it, but couldn't put it on frame. Penn missed his opportunity for his first professional goal on Wednesday night. A sliding effort that he couldn't keep on frame. Just past the 60th minute in Wednesday's match in Pittsburgh. Young man, just 18 years of age, here on an academy contract.
Just unreal.
Still planning on playing at Indiana University in the fall is Josh. Osmond. The deft
home hop there.
Little flick to find Pasher. Penn applies the pressure. Able to find Dane Kelly. Ina Boltson trying to stay on side. Kelly couldn't keep the ball at his feet. Kelly goes to the turf.
A great ball.
Looking for contact, didn't get it. Goal kick coming.
And these are the moments for Pasher, you know, to be able to have impactful 90 minutes. He's going to have to pick and choose his times when to get involved, when to go forward.
Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive Indiana Members Credit Union Indy 11 debit card at any Indiana Members Credit Union branch or online at imcu.com today. Good job by Hackshaw to fend away the challenge of Christian Volesky. Volesky got the assist on the goal from Mertz just a few minutes ago. For Volesky, that'll go down as his first assist of the season. Ina Boltson. Flag stays down. Ina Boltson couldn't get to it. It will be a corner. Second one earned in the first 20 minutes by the Indy 11. And they are finding a bit more space against that back line tonight than we have seen the last few weeks.
Yeah, and it's different guys. I mean, they found Kelly a couple times through a seam. You've got Ina Boltson that you found. You've got Pasher. You've got Penn. You've got guys that are finding those gaps, and the 11 are putting them into position.
My turn again. Really overloading the boxes, Indy. Back post, headed down. Volley does not get through. Second opportunity. Had to be steered away. And Osmond, in his first professional start, almost got his first professional goal.
Twice, I think he almost got it with his head, and then he almost got it on that rebound.
Did a good job of steering it back to Amet. The blast then by Kelly. And then the second volley by Osmond. I think this is going to be Pasher now with the left foot from this corner. Sends it in. Punch by Pack.
Good save. You gotta see if it's something in the way Mattern serves the ball that has them go in that bunch formation on the corner kick, because they didn't do it when Pasher was serving.
Looking for Wimet. Flicked it. Pasher. Farias. Osmond. Couldn't keep it on his feet. Now it's 3v3. Kerr slides it forward. And the 11 sprinting bodies back, and now Pittsburgh will slow for a moment. Fans, this portion of the match presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. This Indy 11 team almost had to rely on scoring on set pieces last year. It has not been as big of a part of the attack this season, but some good looks on corners so far in this match. And
good
Newton.
lead.
You know, we have talked about how solid Evan has been all season long. And that will be a foul whistled against the Riverhounds. Goes against Dos Santos. That's kind of been Evan Newton this year. He hasn't been called, to use the hockey phrase, to stand on his head. He's had to be there for one or two big moments every match.
Yeah, and it's not, he says, it's a big moment. They're not one or two kind of saves. I mean, they're one or two moments that decide the game, and he stood up for every one of them.
In other words, there's been no middle ground.
Right, there's
nothing, sprawling save.
Exactly.
Have to make the read. Good ball for Pasher. Well defended by Adewole. Toby Adewole. There for the Riverhounds. Enevoldsen pounces on the turnover. Good ball by Nico Mattern. Pasher is in. Pasher can't find Kelly. The settle, no. And Enevoldsen would like to have that touch back.
I'll tell you what, Pittsburgh is, they got 5 back when they're defending. They bring their outside mids back. They put 5 back. And when Indy 11 breaks the line and gets down into the box, they've got 3 to 4 guys inside the 6.
Wimet can't get there in time. Chances aplenty for the Indy 11 so far. Just have not been able to get through the traffic inside of the 6, either in the run of play or on those set piece opportunities.
And that was a great example. Pasher did a great job of turning the corner. Dane Kelly made the right run, and in the time that it took for Pasher to get that ball into Kelly, the gap closed.
Wimet couldn't keep it in play. Good effort, but ball just a bit errant on this 70 by 120 yard pitch. Of course, 10 yards extended from what it was a season ago. Width remains the same. Fans, you can follow the Indy 11 and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Pasher again onside. Perfect ball. Pasher. Enevoldsen couldn't get everything he wanted to on it. Danny Rovera read that ball.
What a ball. What a ball by Motzern to find Pasher in stride. And then Pasher lays it off perfectly to the top of the box.
And Penn the worse for wear after the collision. Our match referee will come check on him. Take a look at Motzern's effort to Tyler Pasher.
Look at that ball. Look at that ball.
He is channeling his inner Iose tonight, is he not?
Oh, my goodness.
By the way, Laurent Varga is our match referee this evening. He is making sure that Penn is okay. James Dooling, Michael Nickerson, our referee's assistants, and Ryan Rampala is our fourth official tonight. Motzern has been solid in his year plus with the Indy 11. I'm not sure if we've talked about his passing skills as much as we already have in this evening's contest.
No, great vision, great touch. You know, when you take a look at his work last season and then in the start of this season, it's been really consistent. You virtually get the same thing from him every game, which is one of the things you look for as a coach. The last thing you want are these moments of brilliance and then subpar performance where you don't know what you're going to get until they get into the game. With Nico, you got pretty consistent body of work through his pro career.
Nico's kind of been in a rotation. He and Matt Watson have been kind of alternating matches, especially in these two matches per week sort of situation. Great touch by Pasher. Pasher charging forward. Kelly couldn't make the right touch. But Pasher's been playing some inspired soccer as well. Again, it's a different role than we've seen from Tyler for most of this year.
Yeah, and he's got to make that adjustment mentally. You take a look in the last 5 minutes, been 2 50-yard sprints where he's had to be dynamic. With the lion's share of minutes that he put on his legs on Wednesday night, is he going to be able to maintain? He can play the 90, but is he going to have to pace himself, or is he going to have to be less impactful if he's not cautious in how and when he makes his runs?
Enevoldsen, but figuring out the right piece of real estate was Austin Pack. Fans, you can join us every Saturday morning for Soccer Saturday. You're on 107.5 FM and 1070 The Fan. This week on the show, Indy 11 head coach Martin Running. But how about this duo? Giannis Mahalik to talk Champions League final. Congratulations, Liverpool, on their win this afternoon. But U.S. women's soccer legend Tiffany Milbrett was on the show today as well. Podcast available now when you log on to 1070thefan.com. Tiffany just started her new gig running the youth academy for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Kelly. Another outstanding ball by Motzern. Pasher. Farias. Foul whistle against Nico Motzern.
Yeah, not a bad foul. Not a bad foul either.
No card, just a talking to. By the way, you mentioned this, speaking of cards, and we mentioned it briefly, but then haven't kind of followed it up. One of Pittsburgh's top players is not playing tonight in Joe Greenspan, one of the better defenders in the entire league and a great set-piece target player. He scored against the Indy 11 here in a 2-2 draw last year. He had 2 yellows in the match against Charlotte last week. So one less weapon for the Riverhounds. Joe Greenspan not playing in tonight's game for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you mentioned he's a target. He's 6'6". When he's in that box, he is the guy that they look to go to, either to put it on frame or to lay it off or skip it to another player.
Valesky ricochets that off of Osmond, and we will see a corner coming for Pittsburgh. You see Kevin Kerr, native of Germany. It's called Pittsburgh home the last 7 years.
Good ball.
Just sent wide. Dos Santos would like to have that one back because I wouldn't say it was uncontested. But he got a lot on that one.
No, and he's their leading shot taker. I mean, he's almost 2-to-1 over anybody else. So he's a guy that's willing to fire it. The difference with Kerr, who's their leading goal scorer, is that Kerr's only taken 6 shots, but he's converted half of them. So you can't give him a look.
That was the 17th shot taken by Dos Santos this year. Possession before the Pittsburgh goal and since the Pittsburgh goal has been largely controlled by the Indy 11. That's not been that different from what we've seen over the last month. Player remains down for Pittsburgh. I believe that's Dos Santos that is the player down. They'll play on without him as Osmond sends it back to midfield. There's been no effort by Pittsburgh to play this ball to the side. They'll just keep going. Should not consider that all that surprising for this Bob Lilly coach team that they have toughness for days. Now Dos Santos getting somewhat back in the equation for the Riverhounds.
Yeah, he was a no-nonsense player. I can't imagine he's any different as a coach.
Well, there is a lengthy session with a goalkeeper last year that kind of comes to our mind, and Newton watches that one.
That was fantastic. That was great theater.
I wouldn't say it was great for that young man.
No, I felt so bad for that kid.
Farias sends that ball towards the middle, and Kelly got clipped with a high boot. Uchenna Uzo.
Uzo's a great story. He had I think back in 2016, his rookie season out with Phoenix, kind of exploded on the scene. Wound up playing a lot of games for him, and then it looked like things were going to go well in 2017. And just on a no contact, breaks his leg. Horrible break, like one of those ones like a Paul George kind of break. And surgeries, rehab, went back to Nigeria, got himself healthy again. Bob Lilly gave him a chance, so it's great to see him back on the field and getting a start after all he's been through.
This portion of tonight's match presented by Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
That Pittsburgh's got a high line, but there's no space to play it. You get your goalkeeper at the top of the box. You can't play that ball over the top. You got to find a channel and play it through, or work in combination to spring somebody.
Pack content to take some time before hitting the reset button here. Good flick. Osmond better take away. Osmond had one nervous pass earlier in this game. Played 1 minute in a match 2 weeks ago. He'll be called upon more in the month of June, again, depending on just how long Neville Hackshaw is on the Gold Cup roster and how long Trinidad and Tobago are participating in this year's Gold Cup. Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica, the countries that
good save
are getting the most players pulled from the USL Championship over the course of the next few weeks. And yes, that was fantastic work by Carl Wilmette to keep that ball in play. Wilmette saw him the first couple of matches of the season. Did not see him much in the month of April. He came in when Patty Barrett picked up a red card on May 1st and has not left the lineup since. Valesky trying to do a little too much there. Gibson. Voltson and Hackshaw give chase. Not the usual spot on the field for Indy Voltson. He'll now work his way forward. Farias, good move. Wow. Plays it across. Penn was the Indy 11 player closest to it. Adewole, the player that able to sweep it away for Pittsburgh. And that will be a corner.
Farias has twice now created an opportunity out of nothing.
Montern heading that way and thought about the quick restart, but now Montern makes the trot across the field. Again, service has been good for Montern so far tonight. Plays it to Gibson. The lead for Farias. Farias rolls it through, but not exactly a high degree of difficulty save for Austin Pack.
No, and I think that lines up well to find Indy Voltson on the backside. The problem was it just moved too slowly across that line that Pittsburgh was able to adjust and get their shape sorted out.
I saw Indy Voltson point to that spot. It just took one touch too many to get there. As everybody had packed in the 6 for Pittsburgh. Farias gives chase. Great closing speed by Venkayezil.
No kidding, man. He closed that well.
Hackshaw then knocks it forward, and Pack over to make that play. Fans, be sure to tune in on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock for Wednesday Night Soccer when OKC Energy travels to Albuquerque to face the current Western Conference leaders, New Mexico United. It's the best match on Wednesday Night Soccer this coming Wednesday at 9. You can catch it on ESPN News. OKC Energy was involved in a wild one in the Open Cup on Tuesday. A 4-3 win against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. A couple of former Indy 11 men on that Oklahoma City Energy squad. Omar Gordon and Kyle Hyland. We'll talk more about the Open Cup coming up during our halftime show. As the MLS teams enter momentarily, Pasher plays it across. There was a chance for Kelly.
Unreal. The pace of Pasher, he can get by anybody at any time.
Pack got some, not all of that one. That is where the offense has been generated from as of late. Pasher down the left side, playing it back inside of the box. Those finishing touches have simply not been there.
Well, it's so tough. I mean, when Pittsburgh drops their wing mids in, they got a line of 5. There's very little opportunity to go through them.
Kelly and Indy Voltson will get whistled for the foul as Uzu drops to the turf.
Yeah, hard to argue that. Uzo went straight up. Indy Voltson kind of backed in a little bit, just enough to undercut him.
This portion of the match presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. If you're Martin Rennie right now, what's your message to your guys at halftime, Brad?
Well, I think you got to be a little bit quicker in transition. When Pittsburgh gets their block of 5 in the back, set across the top of the 18, there is very little space to operate. You've caught them a couple times in transition where they've only had their 3 backs, and that's been, you've had a little bit more space to work with, not just on the outsides, but in finding a couple gaps through the middle. So I think that's the thing that they have to be a little bit better at in the second half. You know, we talk about it pre-game. There's no shortage of good opportunities. They've had touches. They've had dangerous touches in and around the 18.
Monturn slides over to Pasher. Hackshaw makes the accompanying run. Pasher from 30 yards away. That was not far off from being a long distance strike from Tyler Pasher. Pasher, a pair of goals this season. He's got the last goal for the Indy 11 from 2 weeks ago. His other goal came in a 3-0 victory against the Bethlehem Steel on April the 20th.
See, these are the moments here. You got the 3 backs. You've got to go before they can get their line completely reset.
Our final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of this opening half. Brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda Dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. If you're Bob Lilly, anything you change in half number 2?
Pretty much, I like the way you're playing. You know, they caught 11 on a turnover and a counter, and you know they're in a position right now, up a goal, where they can sit in, pack it in, force Indy to just have to possess the ball at midfield, and then see if they can get a turnover and nick that second one.
Ouimet let that ball roll across the sideline, so the player could be tended to for Pittsburgh. That is Dos Santos, who is down for a second time. Pittsburgh upset about thinking that Osmond was late on the challenge. Referee ruled to be not of any malice. No foul was whistled. Players are asking for a replay. We'll give it to you here in a matter of moments. They want to take a second look as well. For the joy of having such huge video boards here inside Lucas Oil Stadium.
Got to be holding your breath as an official right now.
Second time Dos Santos has gone to the turf, and I can see where Pittsburgh has a gripe there, to be honest with you.
I'd be yelling for that as well.
Kelly didn't get the, or Penn did not get the touch on that he wanted to Dane Kelly. Barry is told to make that restart a bit further up the field. Stay tuned. Coming up at halftime, we'll have a look around the USL Championship, the Eastern Conference standings. Bit of a giveaway here by Monturn. And highlights from half number 1 and a great story from USL League 1. All that and more coming up at halftime, and we'll hear from the head coach of the Indy 11 in Martin Running just before half number 2. Being told it will be an additional 2 minutes at the end of this half. Flag stays down here. Left foot, and Newton again. Just these blips where he's got to be ready.
And that's such a tough read because the ball's coming off the foot funnel.
Christian Valesky. See the ball bounce off the turf. And again, you can tell from our end zone angle, he didn't have to touch it. He doesn't have that luxury.
Right.
He has to ensure that it's going to steer wide and pause that ball away. And obviously, as you can tell in the replay, that took a deflection as well. On the corner. Penn. A pair of quality touches for the 18-year-old, and then taken away. Van Kiesiel. Flag stays down. Valesky. Newton was there.
Great save. Pushed it just far enough to get it away from Dos Santos. Otherwise, it's a tap-in back post. Great job, Evan Newton.
We have talked about Evan Newton's clean sheets numerous times. He was the USL Championship Player of the Week earlier in May. I'm not sure we have seen him have to be as consistently good as he has been so far in this first half.
The tough part on that save, if you go at it with your palm, you leave it for Dos Santos. You got to get your heel of the hand to the ball so that you can direct it in behind the run.
So we are into stoppage time. About midway through added time. Enevoldsen knocked away by Uzu. It required a late equalizer, as in post 90th minute equalizer for the Indy 11 to get a draw here against Pittsburgh a season ago. They are hoping for no such drama needed tonight. First things first, they do need to equalize. They do need to find the back of the net, something that has been in way too short a supply as of late. A glance at the wristwatch. Minimal time remaining. In fact, 0 time remaining in half number 1. In the 15th minute, Robbie Mertz gets his first goal of the season. Kim Do-yoon, we saw really make his home debut last week in the 0-0 draw versus Nashville, native of South Korea. And again, this is a player that we felt as the season was going to go along was going to become more of a factor for Indy.
Yeah, we've had situations where, like, Kenny Walker warming up right here, where a player comes up to you at halftime and says, "Coach, I got 10 to 15 minutes where I can be effective. At that point, then I'm going to need somebody to come in."
So for Kim Do-yoon, this is his 4th match of the season. All but 3 have been in a reserve, or excuse me, 3 of those have been in a reserve role. 81 minutes so far this year. He played 64 minutes last week in the 0-0 draw. No goals and no assists. So first of 3 substitutions has been used by head coach Martin Running.
So it'll be interesting to see if they drop a player back and they play in a 4-4-2, or whether they push Kim high and have him as more of a transitional piece to find Kelly or Enevoldsen.
And again, Penn was a player that did play a lot on Wednesday night as well, even on young legs. That's a lot of mileage to ask in the course of 4 days.
And even though those 18-year-olds heal pretty quickly, he did take a couple of big hits out there.
So from an 18-year-old in Penn to a 36-year-old in Kim Do-yoon. Walker, Barrett, Farr, Watson, amongst some of the other players, and Alioune Jahate available as a substitution in tonight's contest. Get no Iose this evening. He's out for the first time since March 15th. He missed the first 2 matches of the season. Had played the last 8 in terms of league play. Well done by Farias, and then draws the whistle after contact. Farias getting his 4th appearance of the season, his 3rd start. Enevoldsen, great sliding tackle. Hackshaw. Pressured by Danny Rivera. Rivera making his season debut. Native of Columbia, played his college soccer at the University of Vermont. And this is a Pittsburgh team that had a decent level of turnover after last year. Farias. Gibson. Pasher getting ramped up for that run down the left side. Now Met will move the ball forward. Well done by Pittsburgh.
It's a bit of trouble here.
Montern closes it down.
Well done. And you know, with Kim sitting a little bit lower than Penn did, sitting in the midfield, that may allow both Farias and Pasher to get higher in this half, and Kim can just jump out to one of those sides and cover them defensively in transition.
This portion of the match presented by the Denny Companies. The Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. Good looking ball here. That's Kerr. And Kerr 1 assist away from becoming the all-time leader in the history of Riverhounds soccer. It'll be his 26th for this club.
What a find.
Right there, has a chance to score a goal. But didn't get everything he wanted to on it, and Newton had it read perfectly.
And this is where you can see kind of that possession number display itself. Pittsburgh's fine just dropping back in and making sure that their defensive integrity is in good shape, allowing Indy to just slowly knock that ball back and forth.
You're telling me that possession number probably is not going to change in half number 2?
I can't, unless the score changes. That possession is probably going to be slanted even further.
Pasher looking for Enevoldsen, and just a hair too strong on the pass. Enevoldsen had carved out some space. Thomas last scored in the Open Cup win against Lansing Ignite May 15th. Does have a couple of goals in USL play this year.
And that angled ball like that eliminates when they have a high line and you've got Pack playing at the top of the 18. You can't go straight through because he's just going to clean up anything. But that angled ball that goes into the corners of the boxes is still available to you.
After this match, Indy on the road each of the next 2 Saturdays, and no midweek matches for Indy. So we get to the end of the month of June. And Montern. Never afraid to get physical on a field as Montern. Quick restart, and too quick of a restart. Upcoming schedule for Indy. They'll be walking in Memphis next Saturday night when they take on Memphis 901 FC, as you see the foul on Nico Montern. Then at Loudoun United in 2 weeks. Then a trio of home matches against teams to the south: Atlanta, Birmingham, and Louisville. That one headed back by Farias, but a corner given up. Again, that's 3 matches in 8 days. Next time, Indy 11 will be home against Atlanta United 2, June 22nd.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that is, in your 6 years, your first Mark Cohn reference.
It is, yes, because we haven't played Memphis.
I've been tracking those. And
Thank you, I appreciate that. We had to wait from 1991 until this moment to get that reference on the broadcast. It's a 28-year buildup.
That's a great song. That's a great song.
Corner coming. It's Kerr that will take it. Dos Santos the target, and for a second time on a corner, he'll steer one off of frame. Last time much closer to finding the back of the net than that one was.
Yeah, imagine he and Greenspan in there. You've got 2 guys that are physically towering over the other players.
This portion of this match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, finish strong.
What a luxury it is to have a goalkeeper that's good with their feet. You see that so much in the modern era. It's something that young goalkeepers really need to make sure that they add into their toolbox.
Hackshaw. We've seen him be a little more aggressive about charging forward here in the second half. He does have a couple of goals this year. Had one against the Bethlehem Steel back on April the 20th. Had the first goal of the season for the Indy 11, March 9th against St. Louis FC. $12 goals scored by Indy 11 players, 13 for the team this year. There was an own goal added by Hartford to the mix. Kelly trying to find Enevoldsen. Gibson, good pressure, good win. And a foul called. And I'm not sure if it's on Gibson or Enevoldsen. And frankly, I'm not sure if that should have been a foul.
Yeah, I think there's got to be a little bit more intent to play out wide on the flanks. I think with as bunched up and congested as things are in the midfield, taking it out to your outside backs and just having them serve the ball into the top of the box, not a great recipe. I think you've been effective attacking wide, both with Farias and Pasher. Continue to look to exploit those flanks.
Fans, you can get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Indy 11, then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on the Indy 11's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for more on your club. Giveaway by Pittsburgh. Good ball by Pasher. And Pasher off to the races. Drawing the attention of 3 defenders currently is Pasher. Mankaye Azil. Good closeout. We met. And we met. Whistled for a foul.
And that's where you wonder how much of Wednesday is playing into Pasher's legs at that moment. When he first got the ball, there was no cover behind his defender. If he goes right out of that, he may be able to pull the center back out and open up the space for Enevoldsen.
Take a look at the foul. We will in a minute. His contention was, how is that a foul when we met when he had possession of the ball?
Well, when you play the tape backwards, it pulls the foul off.
Good point. Take a look.
I think it's just coming down with the sole of the foot.
And Kenny Walker, as we expected, seeing him in full uniform at the end of halftime, is about to become the second Indy 11 sub. Farias, good shoulder to shoulder to knock that ball free. Enevoldsen plays it across for Kelly. And again, Kelly able to keep it in play. Throw in coming here for Indy, but first, substitution coming in. And it will be Nico Mattern that will exit. Kenny Walker in. And Martin Rennie taking this opportunity to get into the ear of our match referee. Thought Nico did some good things in half number 1.
He did. Played some really nice balls. When you take a look at it, though, you've got your leading assist guy that you just put on the field right now. When the team's struggling to score a goal, you need somebody that has found that success in setting guys up.
Walker 3 assists on the season, and that is with missing some time during the month of April. For Walker, this is his 8th match of the season, 3rd in which he has appeared as a substitution. And as somebody wearing contact lenses during the broadcast as we speak, I understand what Uchenna Uzo is going through. Sometimes you're seeing 3 or 4 different players out there if the contact's not lined up right. And that'll be a foul against Valesky. And Hackshaw the worse for wear. And again, that was set up by the foul whistle against Ouimet just moments ago. So Walker and Pasher lining up to take this one. Talked about this in the first half. If you're having trouble scoring from the run of play, here's your chance on a set piece look.
Oh, I like the way that builds up.
Walker sends it in. Throw in coming. And that wasn't handled well by either player. No, by Walker or Forbes.
I wonder what was going on there.
I think that would be proof that sometimes 2 wrongs do make a right, as Indy 11 kept possession.
Oh, good find.
Doyun's touch just a bit too strong. Hackshaw. Kim Do-yoon out of Wole, went down on the turf. Already possession had been claimed by the goalkeeper. And Pack for Pittsburgh. But Kim Do-yoon will get a card nevertheless. I'm not sure it was worthy of a card.
I don't know what. Well, maybe he saw something that wasn't clear from up here.
Yep. So first yellow of the match shown to Kim Do-yoon. Going to call a foul there, fine, but
yeah, maybe it's just hitting the keeper after the play. I didn't see anything other than that.
A somewhat oddly officiated second half. We play on 1-0 in favor of Pittsburgh.
So I like this. You've got Farias and you got Pasher out wide, seeing if you can't stretch that line of 5, maybe open up some gaps into the middle.
Hackshaw, and that'll be a corner.
That's smart play by James, because Ina Voltson made a cutting run in behind him. Not 100% sure where Ina Voltson went to. Just get that ball out of play. Live to fight another day.
This portion of this match presented by Delta Faucet. Delta Faucet. See what Delta can do. Let's see what Kenny Walker can do on the corner. Chance for his 4th assist of the season. Hackshaw got there, but not the result he was looking for. Neville is wearing the hair a bit cropped this evening, going with the rose look. It has been the mushroom cloud he has worn for most of the year, and he is up for the best hair in the USL Championship. You can log on to USLChampionship.com and vote. He was 3rd as of today. The 2 guys in front of him got some locks, but I'm not sure anybody's got better hair than Neville does. By the way, you can also find things like standings, stats, latest league news when you go to USLChampionship.com. But vote for Neville's hair. Walker goes to the turf behind the play. And I think after the card that was shown to Kim Do-yoon, now the Indy 11 are saying, hey, there's the potential card there.
Well, you finally had Pittsburgh out of shape in their back line, and you have Pasher streaking up the side over here. You're thinking, okay, we have a moment to get him in transition. Let this play out. Let's play advantage.
Good sprint by Osmond.
It's well defended.
Kelly. And draws the foul.
Hey, one thing you've seen in the second half, both with Hackshaw and Ouimet, both of them are pressing forward quicker and carrying the ball. And you're wondering if that was a directive at halftime, to see if you can get one of that line of 5 to bite, to step out, and to create some space in behind that the 11 can attack.
That deflection and then a shanked clearance will end up in the BYB. Another corner flag walk being taken by Kenny Walker.
Tell you, I kind of liked the look early on with the bunch formation on the front post, with having 1 or 2 guys just kind of lurking out around the backside.
Asher trying to draw some bodies outside of the 18. Kim Do-yoon, left foot. Ball ricochets around. And that is indicative of how things have gone for the Indy 11 as of late. An opportunity, keeper off his line, and the ball does not find the foot of an Indy 11 player. Great save. Ouimet looking for his first goal of the season. But nothing coming easy right now for Indy. Pasher draws a foul. And this from dangerous territory just outside of the 18. We have rarely seen a look like this for the Indy 11 this year.
This is a good spot here. You can bend that ball right in between the 6 and the 12, and now you've just got to work on the backside to beat your defender to the ball.
By the way, this portion of this match presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. Seven players inside the 18 for the Indy 11. Player that got there first was Valesky. And the flag goes up. It's an Indy 11 team that scored 3 times in Charlotte, 3 times against the Swope Park Rangers, 3 times against the Bethlehem Steel. They have scored 3 times since. We referenced Delta Faucet a few minutes ago on the broadcast. That faucet has run dry as of late for the Indy 11. Opportunity here. Kelly off to the races. Has 2 defenders in front of him. And Van Yeziel. And eventually a foul given. But by that time, 8 yellow and black jerseys had gotten behind the ball.
And you look, when you're just at this place where goals are just so difficult to come by, that ball just would not get down. It just kept staying up for Dane Kelly. He wasn't able to get it down to the turf where he's able to use his touch and his speed.
It'll be Pasher. Overcooks it. Fans, the USL recently unveiled its elite youth program, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth to compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Pittsburgh about to make their first sub of the match. I mean, Noah Frankie. Frankie, a midfielders. We'll see who'll be coming in for here momentarily. That's going to be for Kevin Kerr. The flick by Enevoldsen. Kim Do-yoon could not latch onto it. Osman draws a whistle. But before the restart, substitution will be brought on. So Kerr's day is over with. Here comes Noah Frankie, who has played in this town before because he played his collegiate soccer at Creighton, conference foe of the Butler Bulldogs. That Creighton program has produced a lot of pros for many years, but especially recently. We saw Fabian Herbers from that program playing for the Bethlehem Steel a year ago. Pack able to get his hands on that without much trouble. And the Indy 11 have just one substitution in which they can use, having already subbed Kim Do-hyun and Kenny Walker into the contest. Two available for head coach Bob Lilly. Space for Mertz. Mertz, the only goal of this match. Give and go here. Dos Santos. Good build. Heads up south end. Not been a great night for Dos Santos. He's been sent to the turf a couple of times. He's had a couple of headers go wide.
And yet he's done enough still that he's brought the attention. And you know, Osman's got to be aware of where he is at all time. He's fighting him for every head ball. Good touch.
A couple of better ones by Hackshaw. Flick for Pasher. Pasher looking back post. Kelly couldn't get to it. Farias settles. Walker!
Hey, what a hit! What a hit! What a hit!
Finally one falls for the Indy 11. And Kenny Walker has tied it in minute 71.
What a hit.
Now, he had a volley from 45 yards out last year for Cincinnati against Ottawa Fury. This one from not that distance. It just feels like it for the home fans. From 20 yards away, Walker's left foot has tied us at 1.
What a hit. Oh, my goodness.
For Kenny Walker, his first goal in an Indy 11 uniform.
And tip of the hat to Farias to have the presence of mind to find it.
Dos Santos. And all of a sudden, the tenor of this match has changed in terms of what is necessary for Pittsburgh. In 9 matches played so far this year, they have 6 draws. They'd rather not have one tonight, but a point is better than none if you're the visiting team in Pittsburgh. If you're the Indy 11, you still feel, hey, there's time to get at least one more. And when these two played here last year, it was a 2-2 draw. Pasher. Believe. Looking across for Enevoldsen. Enevoldsen trying to bend it. All deflected. Great job by Hackshaw to carve out some real estate.
Wow.
And Enevoldsen gives the foul.
Yeah, and that's not a bad foul. You had Hackshaw that pressed up 20 yards, so your shape is compromised defensively. And Hackshaw has put everything into that run. You can almost see in his body language he was a little bit fatigued. So having him sprint 30 yards back into position or taking a foul here, Enevoldsen did the right thing.
In this 4-game homestand so far, 1 win, 3 goals for the Indy 11. One win, 3 draws, I should say, for the Indy 11. 3 would feel awfully good tonight. Right now, both teams getting a point. Met, well done. He's got Enevoldsen to his left, Kelly to his right. He chooses Kelly. The lead for Pasher. Pasher. Not the touch he wanted.
No, but there's a good build. You got Enevoldsen took an extra touch on there to pull Rivera to him. That opened up the space for Pasher. Gets it out wide, and just the serve was a little bit off.
This portion of this match presented by Ivy Tech. Careers start here. Apply for free at ivytech.edu. Second sub being brought over to the bench for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Third and final sub for the Indy 11 is heading that direction as well. For Indy, it's going to be Alioune Jahate that will be entering this match. Mark Forrest will be the player that will be brought on for Pittsburgh momentarily. Forbes, that's a foul.
It's unfortunate too. I think the 11 had him trapped in a triple team. All 3 of the guys just sort of went in with soft pressure. Forbes is a good enough player. He kept the ball under control, kept his head up, found the seam, and attacked it.
There you see Alioune Jahate talking with Juan Guerra and our 4th official. No sub coming on just yet. When Jahate is allowed to enter the fray, it'll be for Dane Kelly. But that sub will not be coming until after this. By the way, Forrest getting ready to enter for Pittsburgh. Hasn't played a match yet this year. Van Kayeziel sends it in. Headed again, and Newton able to get his hands to it. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. Offside flag had been lifted. And now you'll see the 3rd and final substitute coming in for the Indy 11. So Jahate will enter. Tonight has been about finding some players in unlikely sources for the Indy 11. Mitch Osmond, a rookie from Rio Grande in Ohio. Jahate, open tryout, made the team. Paid his own way to get to Indianapolis. And Jahate playing in his 7th match of the season. Good step by Walker. Tried to get one more, but couldn't get the shot through. Jahate, good win. Enevoldsen. Ball couldn't find him. Now Farias. Good pressure.
That's the one thing I love about Jahate, and especially in a game like this, is that he brings chaos. And as organized as Pittsburgh is defensively, a little bit of chaos in there sometimes can shake things up.
This is the 7th appearance for Jahate this year. He has played a grand total of 31 minutes. So it kind of tells you the role he has played on this team. It has often been that fresh set of legs with one mind, go forward, just attack. Jahate the target here. Couldn't find the space. Boy, DeSantos will exit when the sub is waved on for Pittsburgh. When Forrest enters, and again, this would be his first match of the season. Hackshaw, good looking ball here, but Kim Do-yoon was playing that ball wide. Pasher was cutting in. And a miscommunication there, and immediately Do-yoon says, hey, my apologies.
I think Pasher wanted that ball just to run and to have Kim dummy it.
By the way, fans, this portion of this match presented by Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. So Pittsburgh with one sub remaining. You got to think Nico Brett will be that guy at some point, scoring 15 goals a season ago for Pittsburgh. Long distance ball here for Valesky. Hackshaw races back to get in front. Volley across. Forrest was the intended target. A corner given by the Indy 11. See, Valesky again had his first assist of the year on the goal by Mertz in minute number 15. Forbes will take this corner for the Riverhounds. Not exactly a well-struck corner. And Walker sends it about 3 rows in. Enevoldsen sends that ball back to midfield. Jahate. And a throw-in coming for Pasher. Gibson finds some space. Do-yoon couldn't get it off his boot properly. Blocked away by Pittsburgh. Next time the Indy 11 will be here at Lucas Oil Stadium 3 weeks from tonight when they take on Atlanta United 2. 7 o'clock kickoff. Tickets available now. Indy11.com. Good win. Enevoldsen.
Oh, what
Pasher.
a find.
Pasher left foot. Pasher gets a second goal in the second half for the Indy 11. His 3rd of the season. The boys in blue are suddenly finding the back of the net again, and they lead it 2-1.
What a ball. You talked about Enevoldsen and how he's been unlucky that he's set guys up and he's been able to find the pockets and space for the right guy at the right time, and there just hasn't been the finish on the other end. It changes here with Tyler Pasher.
And a little love for the BYB. And that's a little bit more of a jump than it was in the old days at Carroll Stadium. You got to have some serious get up to get up to the BYB the way Pasher just did.
What a great first touch. What a great first touch.
And in whatever sport it is, lefties always have an advantage on the angle. And Pasher rockets that one past Austin Pack. And in league play, the Indy 11 have now scored twice against Pittsburgh the last 3 times they have played. It doesn't happen very often against a Bob Lilly team.
Oh, that is a tough back line to break down.
And now, Indy, a chance to hand Pittsburgh their first loss since March 16th. Still 9+ minutes left to go. There'll be plenty of added time as well. And go figure, Nico Brett is by the 4th official. See if he can make an impact on this match in the late stages.
He was great on Wednesday night, but he played a full 90. He played a hard 90 minutes, too.
He has 2 goals this season, 15 a year ago. Between he and Enevoldsen, 2 of the top 10 scorers in the league last year. And Pasher content to hit that ball somewhere towards Butler University. That's about a little 80-yard blast he just took off on that one. So that will allow Nico Brett to enter. Danny Rovera will exit. Both teams now have used their full complement of substitutions. And now you've got a couple of different weapons to concern yourself with for Pittsburgh in Brett and Forbes.
And now likely you'll see with Brett coming in, Pittsburgh pushing another body up high, seeing if they can't get the equalizer and pulling somebody off of that back five.
Throw in coming here for Indy. Last touch by Van Kayeziel. Fans, wherever you go, take the boys in blue with you. Download the all-new Indy 11 app in the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. Jahate. Two-man battle here. And a good one. Good result for the Indy 11. If this result holds, the last 20 minutes kind of potentially season altering for the Indy 11. Kim Do-yoon. Back post. Pack with the punch. Last time Pittsburgh gave up 2 goals in a game before this one. The Charleston Battery back on May 4th. That was a 2-2 draw down in the Low Country. And Newton. Send that ball up the left side, and again the throw in coming here in front of the Indy 11 bench. Fans, be sure to tune in on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock on ESPN News for the USL Championships. Game of the week, it's Wednesday night soccer when the OKC Energy travel to Albuquerque to take on New Mexico United. It's the week's best match. Wednesday night soccer. It's this Wednesday, June 5th, 9 o'clock on ESPN News. We referenced the fact that Neville Hackshaw was losing the battle of best hair in the league. Devin Sandoval of New Mexico United, currently the leading vote getter. We saw Devin play last year in Atlanta, 2 years ago in San Francisco. That dude's got some locks, I'll give him that. Far more than Brad or I ever thought about having in our lives.
No. There was a day, there was ponytail and mullet days.
That back in your Rockford Raptor days?
That was.
That ball might bring rain, even with the roof closed.
I'll tell you, the thing the 11 need to do right now is just stay away from any fouls in the defensive half and stay away from anything that draws you out of shape.
Our final 5 minutes plus stoppage time presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. And that'll be a foul called against Forrest. Forrest, a Pennsylvania native, and played his college soccer in Pennsylvania as well, Lehigh University, which is where the Bethlehem Steel played their games last year. Goodman Stadium. Mitch Osmond. Understandably, he might be a little gassed at this point, again, having not seen that many minutes all year. In fact, he hadn't seen minutes. He had seen minute. He had played 1 minute until tonight's game.
He'd done great. Outside of that one pass, 5 minutes in, he's been solid. He's been great in the air. He's had his hands full with the Santos all night.
Opportunity here. Looking for Jahate, the volley! Oh my goodness. I'm I'm not sure exactly how much he got on that one. He would have happily claimed the goal.
He causes his energy, his pace. The angles he comes at are not traditional angles, and so it creates some difficult decisions for defenders, and opportunities like this happen around him.
And if you're Pack, you're just watching and hoping that ball steered wide.
That's all you can do.
And if assistant referee does his job, saying, yep, there was an extended arm that hit that ball. So it'll be a free kick here. You don't mind taking a little extra time here if you're the Indy 11. Olsen. And he's left his mark on this game with an assist. And right now an assist on the game winner. Hackshaw. We don't exactly have to explain to you why he's on a Gold Cup roster, do we? It's pretty obvious.
Fantastic technical ability.
And there will be added time. We will about to see exactly how much added time that we'll get after minute number 90. And Indy has not collected a win against Pittsburgh. This is their 5th try over the last 2 seasons, counting Wednesday's Open Cup match. And 3 minutes of added time. To Indy's credit, since getting that second goal, Pittsburgh really hasn't had a look. The game has kind of maintained its spot in this end of the field. Now all charges will go forward here as Pack races to find an alternate ball to blast it forward. But first, the other ball's got a clear play. And Hackshaw goes to the turf, and oh my goodness, an immediate red was shown to Mark Forrest. Forrest shown a straight red, which indicates the referee thought it was an elbow straight to the face of Hackshaw. And clearly Hackshaw in a bad way on the field. But now Pittsburgh will play a man down, and a rather inauspicious debut for Mark Forrest. His first match of the season, and he's shown a red card. So he will be escorted back to the locker room before this match has reached its conclusion. This is his first season. So again, that means in his first professional game he's shown a red, and again, I'm not sure if I see a red in that. Forrest was the 2-time Offensive Player of the Year in the Patriot League at Lehigh University. 41 goals in 73 matches played. And Hackshaw having a conversation with the 4th official. He clearly feels wronged, and he apparently feels the red card was quite accurate.
Right.
Kind of given the immediate conversation he has with our match referee. And our referee tonight, Laurent Varga. So right now it'll be 10v10 until Hackshaw is cleared to return to the field. And Hackshaw has been waved back in immediately. So obviously we will have more than the 3 minutes that had been allotted of stoppage time.
What a fine Hackshaw was in the offseason. Such a tough player.
The attention always goes to the guy that are the goal scorers. You know, it goes to guys like Kelly and Ina Voltson. But Hackshaw has been every bit as important of a free agent acquisition. Last opportunity here. A man down for the Riverhounds.
No restarts. You can't give him any free look.
And you would think probably another minute will be added to this match because of the injury to Hackshaw, and Newton can call everybody off and will claim a little time of his own here. This will put Indy at 21 points and keeps them in contact with the top of the table, that being the Tampa Bay Rowdies. As it stands currently, it puts the Indy 11 in 4th in the Eastern Conference, with still a game or two in hand amongst the 3 teams above them: Tampa Bay, Red Bulls 2, and Nashville. Pittsburgh wanted to have a final say about this first. There's Ouimet.
Great positioning by Carl Ouimet.
And with that, it's great positioning for the Indy 11 in the Eastern Conference standings. 2 goals after the 70th minute. One by Kenny Walker. The game winner for a second time in 3 home matches belonged to that man in Tyler Pasher. His 3rd goal this season gives Indy the full 3 points. Our West Fork Whiskey shot of the game comes your way next. And final thoughts on an Indy 11 victory here on My Indy TV.